Everything looks good. Did Discord actually remember that I'm streaming? Probably not. It never does. Alright. Let's fix that real quick. All right. Should be good to go now. Actually, remember to do that. All right. So, I am going to be working into this initial rough out today. We'll definitely not get to refining this, but we have a level map that was drawn out by Nicodemus that I'm going to be turning into 3D. A couple things that I'm going to end up probably doing is I brought in the Shaded Dunes layout. I don't want to modify this too much. There's going to have to be some modifications based off of some of this stuff. But where everything is kind of working, I want to kind of keep it the same. So I brought these in here, and then I'll build this geo off of this, like the elevations and stuff that are working in Shaded Dunes, and then add in some of these elements from the new layout. So kind of in this area, I'm moving stuff around a little bit and merging it, but the same general idea will be there. Hey, Quicksana. Yeah. So I think what I'm gonna start doing, and I don't know if it's really loud for you guys. It's really loud in my ears. No, it looks about normal. Maybe slightly. There we go. Hey, White Bandit. Alright, so I need to start blocking this stuff out. I kind of blocked out where the pass is going to be. I just duplicated it because it's... Right now, in this illustration, it is bent like this. We'll see what the actual watch ends up coming out to be. But I'm just going to kind of block this in so I have a general idea of where stuff could be. But yeah, so we shall see. So, I think what's going to end up happening... That is a Nicodemus map. So, I think what is going to end up happening is I'm going to end up... So, a couple things that we had talked about was this right now doesn't give a good zone line. This ends up being, like, to give ourselves a good zone line would be, like, here-ish. But this would be in Shaded Dunes, which would leave this area inaccessible from the rest of the zone. So if you zoned in on the terrain level, you would have to zone back out and back in. So I needed to move this stuff anyways, to make everything just kind of work better and not have a really funky zone line in Shaded Dunes. So there's definitely some stuff that needs to kind of get moved around. So what's going to end up happening is this zone, or this is going to get changed slightly. So this is going to need kind of a ramp going up. And I think I'll start that probably around here. And then we'll continue it around. I might end up having to kind of sculpt this slightly differently. Not really, sculpt is the wrong word, but I'll have to make adjustments to its overall shape, and then I'll just have to bring this into the Shaded Dunes scene eventually and kind of merge my modifications before. I'm glad I haven't finalized this yet, because that would be a pain in the butt. No, definitely be a pain in the butt. Having to, like, redo everything. So, before, this zone line was intended to kind of swoop like this. And the zone, I think, was like somewhere around here. Or maybe here. But this would go into Vale of Zentar. And the only way into Fallen Pass was over here. So now, this area, it needs to open up into two different branches. This is going to be the lower area, the upper area, and then this upper area will go into Vale of Zentar. So this is going to be real blocky at first. I'm not going to be refining. I guarantee you I won't be getting to refining any of this today. Just worried about getting the main structures in. And this is the part where stuff's going to start kind of blending between what I have in Shaded Dunes and what I need to have in Fallen Pass. should have brought... Hey, Justin. You haven't seen this part of zone building before? It's been a bit since I've actually brought in... the initial layout of Night Harbor started with a ham map. And then I kind of freestyled from there. Just kind of get the initial layout and then kind of freestyle a bit. So this helps speed up some of the zone building because the initial idea, the initial concept is there. And then it just becomes how much of it actually translates from 2D to 3D. And, you know, trying to get that together. So it definitely helps having something to kind of go off of a little bit. Some of the, you know, a lot of the initial design ideas and stuff like that are already kind of worked out. I don't have to experiment as much in 3D, which takes longer than sketching stuff out in 2D anyways. The thing is, sometimes 2D and 3D do not translate one for one. So you end up having to do some modifications anyways. And I literally just closed that window. Why did I do that? Not that the UVs are really going to matter, because this will all have the triplanar blending materials eventually, but cool. What's that acting weird? Is this an outdoor dungeon or a mix of a city? It's more of like an outdoor dungeon. It will lead up to Fallen Pass, which is the glowy green castle that everyone always is like, ooh, I want to go see what that is. This is eventually how you will get there. Hey, Possum. Alright. Before I keep doing this stuff, let's go and grab the... Still need to fix the vertex painting in here. Ooh, wow, that is way over there. I should have brought... The reason I'm doing this is because I really should have brought this plane in with it. So I'm just going to... Actually, no, I've modified that one. Let's grab this one again. So now I have a reference to the terrain as well. So you guys can see I can actually like tell where the height is, because I was starting to model it like it was right here, and I would have totally guessed that wrong. So if we make the zone line here now, we can make this ramp start right around here. Hey Scruffy Bard, how's it going? Good morning, Pittis. Map's looking better and better, bud. Thanks, Leon. It'll be fun once this one is more fleshed out. Ah. Alright, so I think I want to add Sometimes Pro Builder drives me crazy, and by sometimes I mean usually. Oops. Hey John. You don't want winter to be over, but you do like St. Patrick's Day. I am totally ready for it to be spring because that means it's morel season. And I can start foraging for mushrooms again. I'm just hoping we don't have a drought right during morel season, because we did that last year and I found a bunch of really nice ones that had dried up. So we had like a random like 3 or 4, maybe 5 week drought here last year. Like right in morel season. Was not happy. Hey, tell it. I think I want it to go up that steep. There we go. It's gonna look better. Now, granted, all of this terrain stuff is gonna go away. I'm gonna have to modify that terrain again because I forgot to delete some of that stuff previously, so. Want this to reach high up here, but not too high. think this is going to go up this way. Sometimes it's good to make sure when you're throwing edge loops down that they're doing what you want them to do. Because that one was not. Granted, I have a huge non-gun up here that I need to fix, but... what? There we go. Oh, I wasn't wanting to bridge that way. What am I working on? I am working on the initial rough out of a new... So it's a rework of an old zone. Saying it's a new zone would be incorrect, but I am working on a zone I have not worked on in quite some time. And what I have done previously on the old version was more like cleaning up some of the stuff that Sean had done. Where is it? There we go. And fixing a couple issues and stuff that had been in the old version. But Nicodemus had done... you can see this map down here. Nicodemus had been working on that. And I am taking it and kind of merging it with what we have from Shaded Dunes. And making a couple little adjustments here and there to make it work with some of the existing geo. And then some of the, like, this updating of the geo that I'm doing right now will end up getting brought into Shaded Dunes too. Yeah, Shaded Dunes is the zone next to Night Harbor. So when you zone out of Night Harbor from the western side, you end up in Shaded Dunes, which is this zone. Why is this being stupid? Come on. There we go. So this is Shaded Dunes. So this zone will have a zone line like here-ish, and then I'll have to modify. Because you can see originally, this was going to go into the zone called Vale of Zentar up here. And we had kind of like a facade, like a placeholder facade version of where Fallen Pass was going to be. But now, you will zone into Fallen Pass up here, instead of going into Vale of Zentar. And then you can get into Vale of Zentar from Fallen Pass. So we changed the zone flow a little bit. So this is from that waterfall that was in here. So right now I'm working on getting some of the initial geo kind of set up. For this. Some of this geo was never intended to actually be seen, so some of it is super sketchy. I was just merging stuff together because it's like, oh yeah, this is never gonna get used. This is never gonna get used, and then we changed some stuff up, and I duplicated it, and now it's being used. Again, this is gonna be super rough for right now. As I go some of this stuff out. This, I think, is going to end up being an overhang. But for right now, it's just going to be a block. Flagstaff. Oh, I've been to Flagstaff. I spent a night sleeping on the side of the volcano there. My company wanted to move to Phoenix, and I declined staying in Canada. Screw that heat. Yeah, I would melt. I would die. Although, when I was in Flagstaff, hold on, where did we come from? We went from Sedona. No, we went Flagstaff to Sedona. Am I remembering that backwards? I think I'm remembering that backwards. Anyways, oh, that's right. We went to Four Corners and then drove there. So it was like 50 at Four Corners, because it was like April, I think, when we went. And then we went there. We were gonna hike up Humphreys Peak, and what happened? Oh, we ended up not being able to do it because all the stuff online said that the ranger station at the ski resort was open, and we hiked up there and it was not. And then like, oh yeah, you got to go into the ranger station in town. But my my girlfriend at the time she had a sinus infection. She always ends up getting one when she flies. And she was like dying, and I was like, nah, I don't know if this is gonna go well. She was not I mean, not that it's like super high elevation, but it was like 9,500 feet, something like that. She was not doing so hot, so I was like, yeah, we can skip this. Yeah, we went to. We were in a camper van, and we drove up and parked and slept in the ski lodge's whatchamacallit, parking lot, to acclimatize for the hike the next day. And woke up, and it was like, you know, we had been 50, 60 the day before. Night before we woke up, it was like 18 degrees or something like that. Did not realize it though until I threw off the covers to go to the bathroom, and was like, oh my god, why is it so cold? But that was a crazy like 24 hours, because I went from there all the way down to Sedona, and we went from like 18 degrees to 80 degrees in the matter of like 24 hours. But that was a fun trip. I wish the camper van place that we used had a hub here in Northeast Ohio, because I would totally do more camper van trips if I could just like get an Uber or have a friend drop me off and drive. Let's not grab all of that. I need another WFH job before I sell my house and move there. Yeah, I did like Flagstaff when I was there. Sedona was also beautiful. I don't think I could ever live there. I think they're a little I don't know how to describe it, but I don't think I would necessarily fit in with the like living there, I guess. I don't know how I'm like, nah, my brain's not functioning right now. But like visiting there, oh my god, it's such a gorgeous place. I could go hiking there for weeks. Like, it was so beautiful. But yeah, I don't know if I would be able to actually like live there. Ishmanite. No, Scruffy Bard. Fallen Watch is not done. There's some stuff going on behind the scenes with it. But I have passed off Fallen Watch for now to somebody else. So we'll see how that works out, but Sean had mentioned some of it without getting into specifics on one of his streams. So I think I'm free to at least say that much. But specifics, we won't get too deep into it. But it is currently being worked on in the background. That's one other thing that I'm going to have to do is merge a little bit of this map into what is being made in the other zone. Why is that? There's something weird going on with this material. But yeah, this zone will lead up into Fallen Watch. Let's see. Next, I heard the sewers are being worked on too. Looking forward to seeing the sewers. The sewers are not actively being worked on, I do not believe. Unless someone's working on them on the side, that I'm not aware of. But I do not believe we have any actively. We definitely will be working on the sewers, but do not think anyone is actively working on that. Bilth is going to be doing more of a prop pass on Wormsbane. I made some edits in Wormsbane myself. Why am I totally blanking on what Simon's working on? Oh, he's working on glass flats. And I whipped up a crystal shader for us to use in Glass Flats a week ago. Apologies about not streaming last week. I woke up last Monday and I was like sneezing like crazy and just had a throbbing headache for my allergies. So luckily it cleared up. Like if I had streamed, it would have cleared up probably like halfway through the stream. But I was not in the mood to talk. So I just grinded faction on Wayfarer's Haven for the Dragons of Norath release. Like I was planning on playing it on the stream anyways, but that was a lot of fun. I enjoy that expansion. Although that is kind of like the expansion where I feel like EverQuest started to over-rely on instances and tasks. But it still is a fun expansion. Not good, man. Here, the sewers will be craptacular. Again, I'm right now just kind of blocking stuff in, so this is not going to look good. It's not going to be refined. It's just kind of about building up the actual overall structure. And this is probably going to end up being higher, so let's delete. Spaces. One thing I'm trying to do is not alter this ridge line too much so that everything kind of just makes sense from either side. Granted, you know, you're not gonna be able to do a one-for-one, be like, oh, you know, like if you're over here looking like, oh, this angle's off. I mean, I guess you could, but the fact most players are not gonna do that. So I'm not going to stress about making sure it's perfect. But I'm also trying to preserve it as much as I can. Oops. I forgot. Oh yeah, no, this will work this way. I wanted to do this a different way, but this is fine. The biome jam is really awesome, by the way. Oh, thank you. That was a lot of fun to do. To kind of get into some new areas and experiment with some new techniques and stuff like that. Whoa, we do not need all these. Get rid of that for now. But yeah, no, it was a lot of fun to do. Do it this way. Sorry, I keep second guessing myself on this. So I'm doing is kind of building out the interior, and then I'm gonna extrude. I can extrude up and bridge the mountain portions that are around it. And all these sides will eventually get deleted. selected one. I was like, why did that not do what I wanted it to? Oops. I'm really looking forward to trying out the Archer. Do you like the Archer? It's been a bit since I played it. Last time I dabbled with the Archer, it was still fairly underdeveloped in terms of like its toolkit. And I have not checked to see if there's been more done with it or not. But I will probably have an Archer alt at the least. But for anybody who's not aware of the difference between an Archer and a Ranger in M&M, Archer is more of like a martial class that's ranged, where a Ranger is more versatile, but also good, like range DPS. Just not as consistently high as an Archer will be. Kind of like, monks and rogues are generally better DPS than a Ranger. But a Ranger's more versatile. It's kind of the vibe that we're going for. So you're getting... A Ranger's going to get more utility. Still be really good at damage. I mean, they're already better damage than like a classic EQ Ranger was. Hey, Liz. I am gonna run to the little ranger's room, and I will be right back. Alright, I am back. Sorry, I'm really quiet this stream, and like just in the zone. Whoa! The hell? Oh, Pro Builder. Make you laugh. A guy was asking about Unity versus Blender or Maya, and someone said, "Oh no, you've never, you'd never make a scene with it." can. Is it the most optimal thing? No, but again, we're kind of using it in a way it's not necessarily intended to be used. But it does help us get a blockout test of the zone real quick. So, part of the reason I've been doing it this way is I'm thinking about the vertex painting shaders that we use. So I'm thinking about how the edge flow will be when it gets subdivided. And if I do it this way, these edges will now work. Because this will work as an edge loop. It'll just kind of go around it. So then this will get sculpted. Not sculpted, it'll get modeled and tweaked and stuff to make it look more like a an actual like piece of rock. But now once this gets subdivided, it will have the stuff we need. Like the edge loops will run along this nicely and all that type of stuff. Which will make vertex painting it easier when we eventually get to that. Oops, did you screw that up? I did. This. Why is it off? All right, so that is good. Whale poop. Select the edge loop I want you to. basic 3D controls today. Oh, almost there. Maybe more gaming. I am quickly roughing in one of our... Saying it's a new zone is incorrect because we do have a very placeholder version of the zone. But we have a map sketch to kind of go off of, so I'm kind of roughing that in currently. Also, trying to think forward while I'm doing this. So I'm trying to get the geo to play nice with our vertex shader. So everything will be nice and neat later. Oh wow, that's a big area. Yeah, it's a decent sized area. We've got a couple of maps that Nicodemus has drawn up for us. As the design guys have kind of been reworking the ideas behind some of the zones. So getting the maps helps us environment guys lay the stuff out, and then we just gotta kind of, you know, take that initial sketch and run with it, and then, you know, make tweaks here and there as you have to with 2D to 3D. Quick someone print the sketch so we have proper maps of the zone. I could see us doing like an Atlas thing at some point with all these lovely maps that Nicodemus has been working on. I wonder whatever happened to my EQ Atlas. I used to have one. Probably got tossed in a purge at some point. For a while there, I never threw anything away, and then I moved a ridiculous amount of times within like a 5-year span, and I got sick and tired of carrying stuff that I was not using, and I just started throwing stuff out or donating it. So I'm sure it probably was lost in one of those. Unfortunately. Hey Brayden, how's it going? Is it? How are you watching? You're in school. Are you in study hall right now? Slime Boy is my son, by the way, if anybody was wondering. Yeah, okay, you're in study hall. I was like, don't get in trouble watching me. Paytas's little one is taller than Paytas, just to be clear. I had a binder filled with them. I used to print off a bunch of them until I spent the money to finally actually get that. Essinger just gifted Slime Boy a sub. Hold on, let me go to my other window that is currently covered by this map, because there's been a bunch of stuff. There's a hype train going on, so there's a bunch of stuff going on. Thank you for the follow, IdaFab87, Pessimistic Squid, and Dragon resubscribed at tier 1, and Essinger gifted the sub. Let's see what else is going on here. Nice, I was about to do that. You beat me to it. Let's keep modeling this. Um, Robbie8910. Thank you for the Prime. Appreciate it. Oh, I'm sorry. We don't actually have a hype train. We're at 93% of hype train. I saw the train thing go by and I didn't actually read it. But thank you everyone for the subs. Appreciate it. Oh, Liz gifted a sub as well, and that hit the hype train. Thanks, Liz. Now you have the hype train. Well, I appreciate you all. Let's do. Subdivision there. Cool. Alright, let's make this rock. Whoop. Helps if I hit the right hotkey. And we'll extrude this up like the other ones. And again, these are going to get, you know, more I keep saying sculpted, but sculpted is not the correct word. They're going to be modeled more so that they're more reflective of actually being whatchamacallit. Rocks. Let's see. Did something else just... Why is my thing spamming more? Oh, I think it's alerting me to... whatchamacallit. I got... keep clicking on the wrong stuff. Oh, apparently I earned a hype train emote. I wasn't even aware that was a thing. Is that new, or is it like you earn it after getting so many hype trains? Because this isn't the first time we've gotten a hype train. Wife says only one time a month donate subs. So I'll have to wait till March. Oh, it's okay, Dragon. I always appreciate it. Don't feel bad. Since this is going to be a cliff or a waterfall. Tempting to kind of model this geyser type spot. It's so avoiding question. Fair enough. Did it? Well, there's a question. Oh, I totally missed it. Sorry, Liz. I asked earlier, but I think you missed it. I guess apparently it's twice. In places like the dungeons, do you break up the mesh so that it only has to load like a small area you were in, rather than just all of it? Yeah, we usually have it broken up for calling. This will get broken up eventually too. With that said, some spots we actually have to do the reverse. In Night Harbor specifically, there's a couple areas where Pro Builder was being really dumb, and it was towards me just learning Pro Builder. So I was like breaking up meshes more to try to fix some of the issues. So some of the things like the hospice specifically, which is like the paladin and cleric guild, that will need to be combined, actually, because there's a bunch of walls and stuff like that that really should be part of the same mesh, and they're not currently. But for the most part, yeah, we'll like Wormsbane's broken up into like individual areas, and that lets us make a calling group that will make stuff appear or disappear depending on where you are, which is better for optimization. With that said, we don't have that baked into everything currently, so some of that stuff will, you know, it will end up being like optimization pass type stuff that we'll do later. IdaFab87, thank you so much for the prime. I appreciate it. Missed the hype train. Was on a work call. All good. I said I always appreciate it. Let's see how I want to do this. I guess it helps if I select both of the things there. Priorities, right? You got a lot done since the last tab over. It's moving along pretty well. Again, having maps or like pre-established blockout geometry really does speed up the process, because there's a lot less like thinking and design that has to go into it. It's more about just kind of recreating what's there. And then after that's roughed in, it's just kind of making it work for 3 dimensions. And then making it look good. But it lets you progress pretty quickly. Like I said, I'm kind of doing some stuff a little awkwardly, but I'm doing it kind of knowing what I'm going to end up having to do later. So I'm trying to, like, save myself some potential issues down the road. See how successful that approach ends up being, but hopefully it works out. But the for instance, when I redid Shaded Dunes, I forgot how long ago was that? A couple months back. It came together super fast, and that was because I had, you know, established geo that I was going off of. And then it was just taking that geo and making it look more finished. Oof, that did not. Well, right here. This part isn't probably going to matter too much. I'll just do this one, because that's going to be in Vale of Zentar, and you're never really going to see beyond this area. So this over here doesn't matter. I'm going to try to straighten it out a little bit. Why did that do that? I'm not sure, actually. I may have lied there. This beach, if this links up with the zone line, that will be seen. So I might be wrong. And it looks like that actually is the case. I'll have to double check if that's the intent. How close is this place to Night Harbor? So you can kind of see the facade a little bit of Shaded Dunes. So it's Night Harbor, Shaded Dunes, Fallen Pass. This is, I just duplicated it because the concept has it kind of at a bend. Although this will get probably the last thing that gets touched, depending on how the actual zone structure ends up looking in Fallen Watch. So I probably, this whole area will probably be the last part that gets addressed. But yeah, it's 2 zones away. And then this goes into Vale of Zentar, which is also being worked on. We're trying a different method with generating terrain and stuff on that one. Because it's just a big, like, sand dune-y type zone. Although it's got some cool stuff going on in it. I didn't do a good job of selling it right there. But it's definitely going to be a cool zone. You'll have to find that out. I can't spill all the beans. Or you'll just have to stay tuned to all my streams over the next couple weeks, because I'm sure at some point I'll work. That'll be worked on stream, I'm sure. Save is probably a good thing to do. Okay, figured it is sort of close since it got the sandy vibes. Yep. Yeah, this will be more of like a gorge. It'll still have that kind of sandy desert feel to it, I think, though. This sort of simple efficiency is what I've come to love watching you guys build zones and models. It definitely helps. And a lot of this stuff ends up being reusable. There are some things that we don't want to do with Pro Builder. It's just Pro Builder's not good at doing certain things, but... Oops, actually, what am I doing? Oops, sorry. Really good at doing that and making that sound go off. And I just did it again. I apologize. I am really good at hitting that key when I don't mean to. Also helpful, you can point a Nicodemus if someone doesn't like the layout. True. Hold on, I missed a bunch of chat. I apologize. My chat that wasn't covered up only shows like 3 or 4 things, so if I'm not paying attention, it spams by real quick. I just looked at the one that I can see more, and I've missed some stuff. Priorities right. You got a lot done since I know, right? You look away, come back. It's surprising. I'm more excited about the very top left map. 30. Oh, observant. Also helpful. Yep, I just read that. How big is the zone compared to Shaded Dunes or Glass Flats? So, if I zoom out, because I brought the terrain from Shaded Dunes in. This is Shaded Dunes. It ends about here. There's a little bit of the terrain in Shaded Dunes that I need to crop off anyways. But you can see it goes to about here. So it's probably a little over half of Shaded Dunes. Maybe slightly smaller. But there's going to be more verticality in this one. Hey, Zukin. To be honest, I look forward to you guys' streams quite a bit. Highlight of my day. Awesome. I'm glad you guys get some enjoyment out of it. Imagine concentrating on work and not us. Sorry, I missed your stream, Zukin. I missed Zukin's streams too. There's always the VODs. How you doing, Zukin? Tired? I hear you. I could not fall asleep last night to save my life. I was just like, went to bed at a reasonable hour and just laid there. And my brain was just like, oh, let's think about all this cool stuff. It's like, I need to go to bed. My brain's like, you can do that later. I had the same issue last night. Yeah, it's the worst. All you want to do is get to bed and your brain's just like, nah. Let's see. Teens are like toddlers. Hey, 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 I gotta tell you about this idea. But it's 3 a.m. It's not important. That is so accurate. Hey, Robert, how's it going? Doing wonders in Fallen Pass. I see that I am. Or trying to, anyways. Let's do this. So if I'm hitting C instead of V, I'm like, why is this not welding? Because I'm hitting the wrong hotkey. At least that one isn't like binging in your guys' ears. Which race do you play with Ranger? Curious. I was talking about an EQ. I play a half elf. In M&M, I plan on playing a wood elf. Because we don't have half elves. This area reminds me of those Thousand Needles zones in World of Warcraft. I am not getting the reference. I played WoW, but I did not get super into it. So that's probably why. When I hear Thousand Needles, all I think of is Cactars from Final Fantasy. Is this the... Okay. So I can move these. The cure for the common cold was found at 3 a.m. or on the toilet or the shower. A brain will go, hey, I have an idea. Yeah, mine likes to do that. Or like last night I was just like planning what drops I wanted to get in EverQuest. My brain was just like, hey, you should get this one and this one and this one. But sometimes it's like creative. Sometimes I'll be like, my brain will want to be doing like blueprints while I'm trying to sleep. It'll just be like thinking through the logic. I've definitely had to do that multiple times. Same thing with shaders. Sometimes when I'm like struggling to figure out like something, my brain will just be like, and I'm just gonna keep thinking about that problem you're having. I'll be like, cool, brain. Can we do this maybe in the morning? So this is where 2D to 3D gets funky at times. Thousand Needles is the one below the Barrens. Okay, I know where the Barrens is. I get that reference. It has been so long since I played WoW. Minus the little bit I played Turtle WoW when it came out, because a bunch of the guys on the team were checking it out, and I hadn't played in forever. I was like, oh, cool, I'll play. But I think I only played for like a week or two. And then I stopped. So I proper offered my brain last few weeks, having mastered Unity, net game, objects. I tracked down the new UI. Yeesh. What a pile of poop, hate that. And Docker, and along with some major stress work. Anyone want a migraine? Done EQ Guesser today? I have not, Robert. Yeah, man, I jumped on Turtle WoW because you all said you were gonna play, and I think I'm the only one there. Are you still playing, Zukin? I don't think I got anybody over, like, level 10. I got a couple alts going, and then, yeah, I just did not continue with it. I've played a lot of WoW over the years, but not a huge fan of Modern. I played a little bit in Classic, and I played some in Burning Crusades, but I never got, like, super far. I didn't raid or anything like that. And yeah, I didn't get super into it like I did with, because I think I was still playing EverQuest at the time. And I probably couldn't afford 2 subscriptions, so it's like, and back to EQ. I did play a bunch of, like, private server WoW. Was it Orange Mango or whatever back in the day? But that's where I did most of, like, raid encounter stuff. But again, it was a private server, so it had scaled down raid content where you could go in and, like, solo it. So I've never really done any of the boss stuff legit. EQ upgraded everything from Classic all the way up into like the first half of Demiplane. Something like that. But I honestly don't remember a ton about the actual encounters in Demiplane. Because I was really burning out at that point and just was not caring. So I wasn't like on Alakazam trying to learn all the encounters so I knew what the heck was going on when the raid leader would explain everything, which I had done previously. So excited for Quorum to get Yavin. I've missed playing Beast Lords. Are they in Kunark right now? I haven't hopped on Quorum. I started Quorum and then I was so into Wayfarer's Haven. I did not stick with Quorum. That and the camera was driving me crazy. Although I just saw recently that they did a patch that supposedly fixed the camera, which is awesome. Because that, I don't know how I used to play with the camera like that. It's crazy. Robots live in I'm torn. Oh, is he? If Sean just went live. Oh, he did. Let's raid Sean. I was actually gonna hop off in about 30 minutes anyways. Because I'm getting hungry. So let's raid Sean. Ooh, they changed the raid stuff on my end. It makes it easier. Okay. I have hit the raid button, so we shall be transitioning over to Sean's stream momentarily. Later, guys.
It's good and it's bad. Pattis, thank you for the raid. Pattis's pals, thank you. Hey to chat solo.